In a world where Tottenham Hotspur are forgotten how to dare, a club which is built on defiance and on the belief that glory is earned and not gifted, suddenly finding itself sinking. Chaos through the touchline, a coach who divides the fans, a season threatening to collapse under the weight of betrayal, languishing in 14th in the Premier League, and a CEO who had been with Arsenal for over 14 years, steering the ship into a storm. But this series and this rebuild is our escape, a change from reality, a cleansing of the negativity that surrounds Tottenham Hotspur, and a reminder that Spurs can rise and rise again. Welcome to season 2 of the Tottenham Hotspur Rebuild, the Let's Play series. Let's get our Spurs back. Season 2 begins. Remember, after finishing the Series 1 with the Premier League title, where we conquered England, last season we shocked the world. We lifted the Premier League title and conquered England. We also lifted the FA Cup and reminded the world that Spurs are not to be underestimated. But this season, the mission is bigger, the stakes are higher, and the dream is intercontinental. The mission is clear: bring the Champions League to North London, the white side of North London. This is the story of a club reborn, a squad rebuilt, a fan base revived and united, and a journey that will push Tottenham Hotspur to the edge of glory. From last season, we already brought in Ademola Lookman, Angelo Stiller, the metronome in the midfield, and in January of last season, we brought in Fraculino, the striker who would become a monster. We also prepared for this season 2 by pre-purchasing Samu, who is a finisher that will complete our attack. But the real statement came in this season. We reminded Mr. Marinakis that you don't always win, you always get relegated. So after they got relegated in the first season, we reminded Mr. Marinakis that football humbles everyone. So we went and we got Murillo, and we also took Morgan Gibbs-White. We took their hope and their crown jewels and made it ours. We also brought in Condon Bradley, arriving into the squad to strengthen our right back. We did not need to sell any other player because we already did a clear out in the January of the first season. Our squad was ready, the tactics remained the same. And if you've not seen the tactics video, I made a video about the tactics we are using at the moment. Head on to the channel and watch, and also you can recreate the tactics. It's called the King of All 4-2-3-1s. Go ahead and watch the video and you can recreate that tactics on your own. The season started with a curtain raiser in Wembley. It was the Community Shield versus Liverpool. It was a chance to set the tone for the season. After Pedro Porro scored a lovely goal from the edge of the box to set us 1-0 in the Community Shield, Konate equalized from a corner that we failed to clear, and it was 1-1 after 90 minutes. On comes the penalty kick, and Mohamed Salah was the culprit, missing Liverpool's first penalty kick as we scored all of ours to end the game 5-4 on penalties. We lifted the Community Shield and we set out to the Premier League games. We played Chelsea in the Premier League, where we started brilliantly with a nice tidy finish from Fraculino. But Chelsea equalized after Cole Palmer worked his way on the left-hand side and passed to Caicedo, whose shot was deflected off Van de Ven past Vicario. Fraculino then turned provider after being set free by Xavi Simons to assist Kulusevski, who smashed home a rocket to make it 2-1. Then Enzo Fernandez equalized for Chelsea with a one-time shot to beat Vicario. It was 2-2. We had the final say when Madison and Udogie combined beautifully on the left hand. The ball breaks to Bergvall, who slips in to Samu, and Samu smashed it home for 3-2. And then we went on to play Man City. Omar Marmoush was able to find Haaland at the edge of the box, who rifled home a left-footed strike and an unstoppable shot that gave them a 1-0 lead. We would not give up as Sarr headed the ball to Tel in the 18-yard ball, who smashed the goal past Donnarumma. We had an unbeaten run in August to start the league properly. September was also a great month, and the season started on a positive note with 2 unbeaten runs in 2 months, having won all our matches in September. Well, we won all our matches in September, including a 2-1 victory over Manchester United that started with Kudus finding Tel from the right-hand side, who had a tap-in pass to Onana. Manchester United then found Rashford behind our defense, who slot home their equalizer. We would have the final say now, as a good work from the relentless Lookman down the left, where he passed to Stiller, and Stiller sends the ball to Kudus, who placed a nice shot to get his goal for a 2-1 victory. We lost only a game in October, involving our Champions League game away to Fenerbahce. And on comes November, where we started the month with a Champions League game versus Barcelona in an intriguing 9-goal thriller involving a Francolino hat-trick. At this point, I have to say this: if you are looking for a striker in FM26, get Francolino Jew. Is what the hype of FM. Is a monster of a striker. In December, it was the North London derby, and Francolino would not stop scoring as he got his derby hat-trick as the game ended 3-0. Also in December, we played Manchester United in a game that Tel and Kudus had a brace each to give us a 4-1 win. We had 2 goals from corner kicks, and you should take a look at our corner kick routine video in this channel. This corner kick routine gives us a lot of edge as we score lots and lots of corner kick in this game. It's a trick, and I made a video about it. Draws against Manchester City and Chelsea away in the Premier League, and another draw away to Roma in the Champions League ensured we finished January unbeaten. We didn't need to get any recruitment because we already have a full stock squad. We also had a brilliant February where we won all our games. Our Champions League round of 16 started with an 8-1 aggregate score versus Bayern Leverkusen, where we won 3-0 away and demolished them 5-1 at home. And then came the Carabao Cup final against Aston Villa. We started with Lookman finding Tel with a low cross to give us a 1-goal lead. Lookman then scored a penalty to make it 2-0. Onana deflected shot got to Ivan Guzan, who scored into an empty net and made it 2-1. Lookman then scored from the edge of the box with a powerful left shot to end the game 3-1 as we lifted the Carabao Cup. We played 4 games against Liverpool in April and we refused to lose. This is a revenge against them last season when they defeated us in the Carabao Cup final. We eliminated Liverpool in the FA Cup quarterfinal with a Tels lone goal. We then drew 1-1 at home in the Champions League quarterfinal, but then Samu was able to find the lone goal that was enough to get us through to the semi-final. We capped it also with a 2-0 win in the league to complete a season unbeaten over Liverpool. We are now in the thick end of the season and still in all competitions available. We started May in the Champions League semi-final versus Bayern at home. Dejan Kulusevski found Tel with a long through ball that he finished to get us going. Tel then turned provider as his perfect cross was found Samu to head past Villa. Kudus had the last say as he was found by Gibbs White to drive home a powerful shot as we ended the game 3-1. At this point, I have to mention these tips. If you've not been using it, kindly consider it. I see a lot of football manager tactics with low cross instruction, but as I prefer to explore and find ways to make tactics myself, I discovered that heading is a big thing in this version of football manager. So if you have a big striker, please don't limit them to low crosses. I always have my crossing instruction to standard so that they can choose to play their crosses as they seem fit. I also love to use the winger in the wide position and the cutting, and these two, including the direct pass, are the source to my tactics. Having to cross to my big striker is a big advantage and they win a lot of headers. Back to the Champions League game versus Bayern Munich, we drew 1-1 to progress to the Champions League final. It is FA Cup final day and Fulham could not clear the lines, and Kulusevski scored a brilliant volley to give us the lead in the final. Samu then dispatched his penalty kick as we won 2-0 to lift the FA Cup trophy. End of the season came and it was Champions League final versus Juventus. Pedro Porro played a beautiful cross that was made by the head of Samu as we started brilliantly. Our second goal also came with the two combining beautifully again, and this is what I mentioned about the crosses in the tactics. Juve had their chance as Openda found space behind our defense to run into and chipped past Vicario. It was 2-1 and we won the Champions League. It was a trophy overhaul in the second season as we won the Premier League, won the Carabao Cup, won the FA Cup and also won the Champions League, having already won the FA Community Shield at the start of the season. For our most valuable player, Dejan Kulusevski is the most prized in the second season, followed by Xavi Simons. Francolino was our top striker, followed by Samu, and then Xavi Simons and Matis Tel also having a brilliant, wonderful season. Kudus also scored 10 goals. Mohamed Kudus was our top assister with 20 assists, and Xavi Simons following closely with 16 assists. Also, Bergvall and Dejan Kulusevski had 13 assists each. In the league, we scored the most number of goals with 88 goals, course of 38 games. We also have the highest goals per game with 2.32 goals per game. We have the highest expected goals and we are against. We also have the least shot on target against. We limited the opposition to 148 shots on target over the course of the season. Our final third pass against was also limited to 65 passes in our third half, and final third. That's what we limited other teams to. It was a brilliant season, especially with this complete trophy overhaul. I would say, if you've enjoyed this journey, help us grow this channel. Comment, subscribe, and tell us what you want to see next in the sports. Let us know what we can do better, what video you want us to make again, what kind of tricks or any questions you have about Football Manager 26. Again, thank you for staying to the end of the video, and as always, you're welcome.